As a real estate investor, I always want to be smart with my money. Spend it on asset, things that bring in money, and do not spend it on liabilities that take money out of your pocket. And yet, just the other week, I bought myself a new car. Yes, I know. But before you click away, I've shared this post on my social media, on LinkedIn, on my Facebook, and even on my Instagram. Just the other week. So if you didn't see it yet, it's a Volvo XC90 with all the gimmicks. There's even air suspension. It's a 7-seater. There's an autopilot function that brakes by itself below 30 kilometers per hour. It accelerates the moment the traffic moves again. Well, I can actually just keep on going like this, but this is not a car video. It is an investment video about cars. Now, normally I would say, what have you done? What a silly idea. This is such a dumb idea. This will ruin your portfolio. If you're really an investor, why would you spend your money on liabilities? But in this video today, I'll share with you why buying a car like this doesn't have to be a bad investment at all. My name is Lucas, and as an investor from excelwealth.com, I like to share interesting topics with you on investing, real estate, and personal finance. And if you stay until the end, I'll even share with you why getting a car like this is sometimes just necessary in your investment life. Now, maybe not a specific Volvo or anything, but you'll get it once you are at the end of the video. Oh yeah, and if you're new and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button because that's the way how you will become an XL Crew member. For now, let's go into the video. Okay, first things first. Just the other week, I proudly presented my car on social media, and many of you have probably seen it. Now, for now, I will not go into liabilities versus assets, but I will go into that, just a little bit. Just for you to understand as an investor, everything that I buy is always being weighed. And I always check if the deal that I take is a good deal or not such a good deal. To give you a little bit of a backstory, now we already have and own 2 cars before I got the Volvo, of course. Now, one that I own is a Mercedes E-Class, and my wife actually owned a Citroen C4, which was our family car, which had 7 seats, which was very practical and had all the functions that we needed as a family. Now, I don't know about you, but as a boy, I've always dreamed about having a dream car. And for me, that was a Ferrari. But then again, this is not a Ferrari. I know that. A Volvo is not a Ferrari. But it's not even in that range. The reason that I didn't buy a Ferrari is I'm not in that range of wealth yet to be able to own such a car, drive it, and pay for it. So the next best dream car that I have is a nice SUV with all the practicalities that I wanted with. And the car should be a luxury one to drive and to own. And, it also should give me the feeling that I'm a king on the road. But I know, it sounds a bit over the top maybe, but hey, let me. I'm not being an arrogant person on the road, and I don't cause any road rage or anything, so I suppose it's good enough to let me feel great when I'm driving my car. Okay, coming back to the Volvo. Now, whenever you're looking into luxury SUVs, there are quite some brands to pick from. Now, my taste of cars would fall into 2 choices. Now, in this case, I won't go into all the choices that I made, but that actually came down to 2 choices, and that would be an Audi Q7 or the Volvo XC90. Now, Audi had interesting reviews and Volvo had all the safety features that I wanted to. So whichever would come across as a better deal for me, I would purchase. That's what I told my wife, and my wife just, she likes driving in a fancy car, but she lets me take care of those deals, just for the real estate deals as well. I take care of the deals. So that's how the investment journey of cars actually started. Now, if I would buy a new car, it needed to be a good deal. It needed to be a good bang for your buck. And at least, to have that feeling that whenever I would get rid of the car again, I wouldn't be feeling that I would be ripped off or anything. So the choice was either an Audi Q7 or a Volvo XC90. And, life has always been like this. Whenever you believe in something, it will come across your path. The only thing for you as an investor is to take the leap of faith. And that's what I did as well. I did a lot of research on both these cars, and I kept my eye out for on the market just because, dude, I like cars. That's my hobby. So each and every day I would just log in, check some car websites, and I've been doing this for a couple of months now, and nothing special. It's not that I had the urge to, I need to buy a car right now. It's not like that. So just whenever I would come a good deal, I would just send a message maybe, and nothing else than that. And then came this auction website. It posted a Volvo XC90, exactly the one that I wanted, with all the options, all the gimmicks. There was nothing else in that car that I thought, this car doesn't have fill in the blank, so there's no reason for me not to buy. So there was no deal breaker anymore. Meaning I had to join this auction for this car. But hey, I don't know about you, but auctions do not mean that if you like the car, you can buy the car just like that. As an investor, I had to do all my calculations. I had to calculate the exact price that I would bid for this price as a final offer. And if the price of this auction would go even, past by $1 on top of my price, I wouldn't bid anymore. I would just, leave the deal. That's it. That's the only thing. But there was one big problem. And yes, that is a big one. Because the moment I came across this car on this auction website, the closing date was already in 2 days. And that is a good thing though, because I wouldn't have to wait 2 or 3 or 4 weeks in the end, for the day to be passed, for the auction to end. But nearing the end date would also mean viewing dates for the car have also passed by. And since the last viewing, the auction viewing date of the car was about like 2 days ago, meaning, if I would bid on this car, I would have never seen this car in real life, like at all. I wouldn't have an idea if the car would even start or drive, or if it, even works. So as an alternative solution, so what I did is that I called the car dealer from the auction. Now the person on the phone knew which car I was talking about, but he didn't know any details. And since I didn't make use of those viewing days, the only thing he could tell me was like, well, the car starts. And, the car was taken in from a bankrupt company just a few months ago, and that's the only thing he could tell me. So not only could I buy the car for the price that I wanted to, I didn't have any insights in the car technical report. Now, the question is this a gamble? Now, I'll tell you this, it did feel like one. Like the investor that I am, I like taking a gamble if that gives me a good deal. So I've done all the research up front. That I could do, of course. And then I just had to believe in the fact that, if I would buy this car, if I would get this, it would have good benefits for me the moment I own it. Okay, now I don't know if you're still here or if you've done any auctions before. But as for auctions, the best time to be active is not for all the days before the auctions, actually starts ending, but in the final hour before the closure of the auction. That's the best moment to be active. So yes, I was as well. Since this was a car from a bankrupt company, the bidding started at only 5,000 euros, excluding, all the auctions costs and such. But, since these Volvo XC90 cars can be bought for over 100,000 euros when you buy these new, I knew when the price was super cheap, there would be more people joining in the auction. So I would wait until the very last moment. But once the prices go up, in serious numbers into the 30 or 40,000 euros, I know that others, who just want to go a swing will drop out. And that was the case for this case as well, for this car as well. In the final hour before the auction was, ending, there were already over 70 bids. And my first offer was already passed a long time ago. I offered, I think, like 25,000, and that's a real good price, but nobody is going to sell that car for that price. So in the auction, whenever somebody offers a new price in the last 5 minutes, the auction will be extended with another 5 minutes. Now in the last few minutes, I noticed there was one other person joining this auction next to me, because it was down to me and him, and at least I believe it's him. Since there was an online auction, I couldn't see this person, and each time I actually offered, the price would actually be risen by another 500 euros. So I knew that, this person is actually joining me, and it's getting really close to my final offer. And then after having this auction being extended for like 4 or 5 times already, I'll tell you this, it was already throat-cutting exciting. I had 2,000 euros of bidding space left in my price before I would come to my final price. Then came the last bid that I placed my bet, and just 4 seconds before closure, the other person, bid again. I was like, oh, goodness Lord, 4 seconds. And what happened? I bid one more time, my final offer, my final price. The offer was accepted. The person didn't didn't, overbid me again. That just meant I just won this car. And I'm, after about, I don't know, like 14 minutes or so, after the actual auction would be closed, I won the auction. I actually won the car. Now I'll tell you this, the deal was exactly as planned. This could be considered as a good deal, even with the auction price with it, because I even took in the possible repairs. I even took in several thousand euros that I would have to pay if the car would not drive, or if something be broken, or something technical that wouldn't work. The moment I would get the ownership, I even calculated that in. And since you got to the end of this video, I would like to share with you why getting a car like this doesn't have to be a bad investment at all. And yes, I know I've spent several tens of thousands of euros in this case to buy this car, but then again, I'll tell you this, it is also about realizing dreams, because in the end, if you know why you're working so hard and so smart for all the things, you also know that you're realizing dreams in your journey is also a part of this whole investment journey. I know that achieving dreams is what all investors are doing, and that same goes for me. By getting a luxury family car just like this. For me, this is just a wealth trigger that reminds me that I'm doing a great job and that I should absolutely keep on moving forward just like this. Oh yeah, once I got the car, I took the car to the garage for an inspection just on the same day, the moment that I got it. And the only thing I had to do was change the tires from winter tires to some summer tires, because it was just still a rather new car and well maintained by the previous owner, although they went bankrupt though. So there were no real serious repairs, meaning the maintenance and the repair costs that I took into calculations were completely unnecessary for now, meaning this was a huge good deal for me buying into this car. And the remaining money that I had left, I just invested that in another property again. But okay, that will be a different video, since this video wasn't talking about my car that I bought. Now, I would like to thank you for watching today's video. If you liked the video, of course, don't forget to smash that like button, because it really influences YouTube's algorithm and this video, of course. And if you haven't subscribed to this video yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and then you'll become an XL Crew member. Thank you very much for watching. I wish you happy investing. Bye-bye.